the correlational dialogue model by two scholars, Whitehead and Whitehead, has its origins, I think, in the 1980s. And this model doesn't follow the cycle at all. It's a completely different model. It's about how we instigate a dialogue. The model of reflection, they say, their words, is problem-centered, because you shouldn't start with a problem. It is transformative, because the objective is to seek kingdom transformation to the problem. And it's correlational, in that we're going to put together three different sources of help and insight that we're going to bring into a dialogue in the middle. So we correlate these different sources into a dialogue. So it's a dialogical approach. So they say, it's problem-centered because it's provoked and driven by ministerial concern. It's transformative because the dialogue seeks to clarify and interpret and generate a solution. And it's correlational because of the triangular conversation between pluriform, overlapping, and ambiguous sources. So, far more simple. The model has three steps. The first step they call the step of attending. That is, seeking out the information from the three sources of the issue of the pastoral concern. So you begin with the concern, that's a given. And then we need to sort out what we're going to draw in this triangular conversation. And the three you'll see, that's tradition in scripture and history, cultural information that influences the issue, and personal experience, what the individual believer and the community bring to the reflection. Step 2 is assertion. The information brought into the dialogue to clarify our understanding is asserted against each other from these 3 points of the conversation. So it is an assertive method. Looking through that dialogue to deepen and clarify our understanding. And if it's true, forgive me, Craig, I said this earlier this morning when you were in another group with me, sometimes I don't know really what I think about something until I've talked about it, until I've discussed it. And it's something about that conversation that enables us to, well, in the process of articulating, we have to clarify what we think, otherwise we can't say it. And so, to enter into a conversation, enter into a dialogue with somebody about something, actually has that mechanism within us. So the strength of what Whitehead and Whitehead are wanting to propose is that in this dialogue between these 3 sources of information, support and help, that assert different things, in expressing them, in dialoguing, we actually clarify and deepen our understanding. And through talking about it, get to know and understand more deeply, more profoundly. Step 3, they call the decision, is that which leads to action in the presenting situation through the solution that has emerged. Although they say the solution may in some degree be tentative, debatable, or reversible. That even through the assertion doesn't mean that you're going to get to a cast iron, gold-plated decision. What you might have is a very tentative conclusion that you want to begin to explore, because that's the best you can do out of the dialogue that's happened between those 3 different sources. Yeah, that makes sense? In the conclusion to their piece, they say, we advocate this model not as a technique, but in the theological conviction that this is how the Spirit generates the tradition of the church. So actually, sitting beneath this is a theology of how the Spirit is at work in forming the tradition of the church. Now, my best understanding is that they are Catholic, and it's that perspective that they come from. But I think it's an interesting understanding that it's as God's people talk, that the Spirit enables us to catch a glimpse of and access and begin to comprehend more adequately God's truth and God's revelation. That's actually quite a Baptistic theology of discerning the mind of Christ. That's something that we do together, but I actually find quite exciting. These models that we've looked at are not by any stretch of the imagination exhaustive, but they are illustrative of some of the best that are out there. And in the coming weeks we will have a play with them to see whether and which of them as tools you might find helpful in the next stage of your ministry and the development of your pastoral gifting. Any questions about Whitehead and Whitehead, or more generally in terms of what we looked at this morning? Then, I am very pleased to say, go to the head of the lunch queue. Until next time.